Hi everyone, welcome back to MRK. This is part 3 of our video on converting shortcodes to blocks. In this video, we're going to be focusing on style, the style of your blocks. How do you enqueue styles using the old method when it comes to shortcodes? And how do you then use those styles within blocks? And which style do you use? What does the editor style do? What does the front end style do? And how can we enqueue if you want the same style on a shortcode as well as the front end of a block? Let's jump on in and get to it. Okay, so when it comes to style, we can see that our blocks are now looking a little bit different. Why is that? Well, I edited the shortcode for the new block compared to super shortcode. So each of these blocks has slightly different styles. So this SCB demo here, that's different to the new block. So what did I do? Well, if we look at new block inside our shortcodes, if we want to style a shortcode and have our block have the same style, we need to enqueue that style. So here I have a shortcode style that I've labeled here, and I've enqueued it using this plugin URL from our base controller, and then said assets css new block.css. And so inside our part 3 branch on GitHub, when you look at it, you'll be able to go to assets and you'll see this new block.css. And I changed the color there to make that really simple to be able to see. So if we go back to our web page here and then say view page, we can see that we've got some styling around each of these. It's all the same on the front end, but on the back end, it's still not really showing up. And why is that? Why are we getting a lack of style? Where can that style come from? So if we look through to our blocks now, inside block.json, we've got an editor style and an editor script, but there is no CSS anymore for the actual front end. If I look at block.json for the SCB demo, you can compare that on line 16, it does have a front end style. So that's where the styling actually comes from. And when we look inside here in the editor, this editor.scss is what creates our CSS for the editor view. So we can see there that we've got a red line, same as on this one, the editor view. So if I take my code for my green block, copy that, paste it into the editor view, and put that here for our editor styles, and save that. And then if I open up terminal, and we'll say a new terminal there. I've already got one here actually. So, and then what I'll do is do an npm run build. That will then build that style out. And now when I go into my build folder for new block, into index.css, we can see that I've got everything compiled up there for my new CSS styles. Then when I go to the editor view, there's my style there. So when I go to view the page, however, the styles are not there. So when we inspect these items, we can see that they're just H2. That's all they are, because these are dynamic blocks that are being returned. The top level element here that's wrapping it has some block information, but there's nothing inside our blocks to actually identify this code. So that's why that styling isn't being linked up to the front end, because these are shortcodes. So if you want your styling from the block editor to be linked up, you're going to have to link it within the style area to be able to say, hey, this class that I'm using, whatever those classes are inside my CSS. Let's take a quick look at that. So if we open up our code and we look at our selector here, which is the WB create block new block wrapper, and if I then go over to my shortcode, so we're going to go into core shortcode new block, and then I'm going to wrap this in a div that has my CSS on it. So now we can see that we've got that. So I've enqueued on this one. Then when I go back here and refresh, we can see that we've gained some style. There was some padding and things that happened in there. So what did we get? Well, the WP create block is there and the new block shortcode is there, but what's my actual selector? So if we take a look at the compiled code inside new block, we can see that we've got the .wp create block new block code WP block, create block, new block is there as our class. And then when I inspect here and look, we can see, okay, where is the CSS that's being done with this? Let me do a hard refresh. Oh wait, we've got something here. We've got a 404 on my code. So that means that because of my enqued method here, this URL, that's actually failing. So we've got this plugin URL, assets, CSS, new block.css. That's where my issue is. If we go back to inspect that and then look at the error in my code, we can see what was being loaded. And here we can see we've got scb demo assets css new block.css, assets css new block.css. And here we've got assets, scb assets, and I didn't put that inside a CSS folder. So if I go ahead and fix that inside my enqued method by taking that out and then go and refresh, we can see that now the CSS is enqueued. It's picked up that CSS and my green box is now there. If I go to my page editor, we've also got that showing up as well. So the editor style doesn't come from the enqueue. If we inspect that one, we can see that here we've got an editor styles wrapper, and that comes here from index.css, and that CSS there is coming from our build folder. So if I open that in a new tab, this is the build folder. So we can see plugins, scb, build, new block, index.css. So that's my editor CSS that's styling that in that case. And when I view it on the front end, then it's the front end that's styling it. When you're doing just blocks alone, you're not doing shortcodes, you don't have to worry about this. So just take a look at your enqueue methods, understand how you're enqueuing an item, and then decide, do I want this shortcode to work as a shortcode or not? So if we go ahead now, we've got this scb demo shortcode, and I come back into my new block, and what we're going to do is use the new block shortcode instead. So that's my shortcode for new block. So if we replace the scb demo with new block like that and click update, then view the page, we see that we've got the two green blocks now. So both the shortcode and the block version have the same styling. This one doesn't. So I hope that all makes sense. And I hope that's helped you understand. Remember, the code is inside the part 3 branch of our GitHub repository. All right, so I hope you liked that video. Stay tuned for more on this series. And if you like it, leave a comment below. What do you want to know about blocks, styling, how to make blocks, how to do dynamic blocks, shortcodes to blocks, anything at all? Let me know in the comments and I'll make a video about it. I'll see you next time.